What up, crypto fam? It's Phantom taking a look at the market. It is Wednesday, April 6, 2022. It's 11 o'clock p.m. and sending out the evening update on how the day went for cryptocurrency. We obviously pulled back pretty harshly. I mentioned on the channel yesterday that a lot of people were drawing 44k level supports, and I couldn't see that holding as a support level. The resistance zone that I've drawn and been showing on this channel for the 2 or 3 weeks now is holding exactly the way that we thought it would. You can see that it dipped right into our support and kicked right back out. So our support is definitely holding strong. I've maintained my same sentiment that I'm hoping that we hold the support territory and make our way back up to the 50k range. If we don't, if we break through this, I'll start to, be a little bit more worrisome. But it would really take this weekly trend line breaking for me to go more bearish. These are my two invalidation. If both of those break, then my bullish outlook is invalidated, and I'll start to look at shorting where I can, because I don't think we have any type of strong support until we get to the 28k 30k region, right around there. So resistance, our support right now is doing its job. It's doing a fantastic job. So yeah, I think that it holding at this level is a strong indication that we're not done with the bull market. It looks, ever since it did make an attempt at this, it just looks like a weak attempt to break that support area, and we've dipped back into the fear territory, which is good. If you follow the channel, you know that when people start getting fearful is when things start turning around. When you have everybody on crypto Twitter calling for this is it, 100k by end of April, generally a lot of people buy into that hype and lose their ass, for lack of a better word. So you want to see fear in the market, because it's the fear that breeds the opportunity. I think there's a statistic that, even taking all information into account, if you follow the S&P, I think it's 90% of the time markets are bullish. So, if you're interested in projects, do your own research and things like that. If you have high conviction, the best bet is just to average in and hold on to the projects that you believe are going to make it long term. That's what's really going to, be fruitful long term. If you do like trading, I'm interested at this level. I think I might pick up some XTZ, some Tezos. I'll show that chart. We're right at the support zones for Tezos, and I'm always a fan of buying support and selling resistance levels. You don't want to be buying at any type of resistance zone. So Tezos has come down to a support level, so it's interesting to me at this price level. This price level has been it held for the first dip, recovered, which is usually a great time to start buying, but then the whole market came down, and obviously Tezos came down with it. But this area itself has been both resistance and support levels for us for some time. So that said, I'm willing to toss some money into this at this support level and see if we can ride it up for our 10% gain or so and closing out the position. We'll see how the market looks at that time, but this is one that I'm keeping my eye on. Bitcoin, I think, is still healthy at this region. I still think we are on the bullish side of things. There's not a lot of volume, right? And I think one of the big reasons for this crash we've been talking about on the channel, I was originally thinking that the Bitcoin conferences were starting Friday and that we would start to see our pullback as soon as the Bitcoin conferences started. The Bitcoin conferences started today, which is probably the reason for the pullback. It's one of the news articles that I did some research on and I pulled up. Miami's crypto craze is on full display at Bitcoin Conference 2022. So you can thank the Miami Bitcoin Conference for today's pullback and everybody going back to fear territory. Miami, thousands of cryptocurrency enthusiasts are gathering in Miami as the city builds its reputation as one of the key locations to develop the blockchain technology despite its underdog status. Dozens of companies are using Bitcoin 2022 conference running Wednesday through Saturday as a venue to network, pitch ideas, and share announcements. New York City and Silicon Valley continue to lead in fundraising raised by blockchain startups in 2021 with 6.5 million and 6.5 billion and $3.9 billion. Miami is now tied with Los Angeles, where firms pulled in more than $760 million in funding, according to the market research. Cryptocurrency exchange FTX bought the naming rights for NBA Arena in downtown Miami last year, replacing American Airlines. The largest crypto company to move to Miami so far, blockchain.com, will house 200 employees at a location in hip Winewood District, where other tech firms are setting up shop as well. This is great news. This conference every year, it nukes the market. So if you wanted a reason for the pullback, you here it is staring you right at the face. The more everybody's bull, the more the market decides to show everybody that they're wrong. So we keep testing the support level on a weekly time frame. I'm watching it closely. I may start scaling into my position of XTZ, and if it breaks through this resistance, then that's where I'll set my stop losses, right? So we don't take too hard of a hit if it does rip down. So I'll be watching this closely. The other news article that I did find interesting: 400 million in liquidations as Bitcoin dumped to 10-day lows. The number of liquidated traders shot up above 100,000, and the total wrecked amount is above $400 million as Bitcoin dumped to its lowest position since March 25th. Most altcoins are currently in an even worse state. The crypto market performed well in late March when Bitcoin surged to $48,000 and marked a 3-month high. The altcoins followed suit, with many of them, such as Ethereum, registering similar 3-month peaks. Yet April started a bit more sluggish and Bitcoin started losing value. It recovered most of its losses at first, but earlier today dumped to just over 44K. And it's now in the 43K region. So this is, I know it's hard to read, when it comes in with a headline saying $400 million was liquidated as Bitcoin dumps. But this is a good thing, believe it or not. These liquidations go both ways. When there's too many longs in the market, they're going to get squeezed out. When there's too many shorts, they're going to get liquidated. It's the big fish playing their game. So you just kind of have to recognize that this is a healthy sign, the liquidations, because it kind of cleanses the market, and then people can get back in. I think retail investment's still at an all-time high in Bitcoin, which is probably another reason for the liquidations. There's too many people that you try to use leverage trading to recover losses and things like that, and it's not the thing to do unless you're very comfortable with what you may lose and you have a strong, proven trading strategy to go off of. Until you have those things, I would caution everybody to stay away from leverage. It's just a faster way to get you wrecked. That said, liquidations is a good thing. Whether it's up or down, it's healthy to get these markets cleansed before we can make our next move. And I think we may do it. We may see, we may sit in this sideways territory while the Bitcoin conferences are going on, unless something huge gets announced that I haven't been privy to, or some type of news article drops. But yeah, I think that Bitcoin's at a healthy level right now. I think it's gonna really. I would really like it to start pushing this next layer of resistance, but only time will tell. We did get correlation. We were quote unquote decoupled from the S&P on Monday. The S&P had a favorable day, and Bitcoin obviously retraced some. And a lot of people came out saying that the market's decoupled. The market's decoupled. And if you follow the channel, we've been following how closely they have been coupled. Every time people say the S&P and Bitcoin are decoupled, the S&P does well, Bitcoin does its Bitcoin things. People say they're for sure decoupled, and then we have a correction and both correct. And we are 100% a couple again. Yeah, so if you put them side by side, the S&P market, I mean, it had almost identical type of trading. And if you put them next to each other on charts, the charts tend to look really similar as far as the pullbacks. You know, some are obviously a little bit higher shots up, lower shots down, things like that. But everything all considered, they're very tightly coupled still. You can't. It's tough to continue to deny it. So we fell right back in line today. The S&P had an awful day. It looks like Tesla was down $50. Palantir was down 6.5%. Neo down 4%. It wasn't a strong day for the S&P, and it wasn't a strong day for Bitcoin either. So Bitcoin's almost at 43K. So I think I think patience is the best strategy here. I'll probably end up tossing some money into XTZ just because it's at such a good support level that's been tested and held in the past. So I may, throw some money into that. Obviously, what I'm comfortable losing. For sure, do your own research. Have your own plan in place. My invalidation levels are really clear. If it goes below the resistance levels and closes below that in the daily, I'll be out. We'll set stop losses out around those levels as well. And we'll just hope that the Miami conference doesn't punish us too much. It's over on Saturday, and I think that we do have another leg up to push towards the 51K area. It may be after the Bitcoin conferences. It may be the start of next week that we start seeing this. We may move sideways and be really boring, and even push a little bit further down into the support level just to scare the tar out of some people. But yeah, I think Bitcoin's doing Bitcoin things. It's right at the resistance that we've been or the support that we've been expecting, and support held as we've been talking on the channel that we thought it might. So Bitcoin's doing kind of what we thought it would do. It's having its pullback a little bit earlier than I originally thought. I thought it was going to be at the end of the week, but it did correlate and coincide just with the Bitcoin conference, just like we thought. So I think next move is to see how well it does here at this range, and always play it safe. Keep your stop losses tight. Have a plan in place. Set up your invalidations like we've talked about here on the channel, and it'll be okay. We'll get through this. We're still above 40K. We're still, much higher than we've been. I mean, we had some scary nukes to the 33K region, 34K region. We sat sideways in the 38K region, I think, for some time. So I'm happy to be in the mid 40s. I'll take it for sure. So until then, I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. I hope you have an even better Thursday, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace.